Watch chapter 1 to 4 in the link above and below.
The next morning, Han Yena wakes up and notices Zhang going somewhere. He tells her that he is going to check the rooftop again. She tells him not to go since it might be dangerous, but he assures her that it will be okay. When he reaches the stairway, he sees the glass on the main door is cracked. He gets a bit scared over the fact that it might break at any time. Just then, Han Yena follows him quietly, saying she feared something might happen to him. On the rooftop, Zhang sees the dead body of the rooftop guy's girlfriend. He steps outside quickly and tells Han Yena not to go in there. Later, they both discuss how to send a distress signal. Zhang suggests starting a fire to create smoke so that a rescue helicopter can notice them. But the fire must start right when a helicopter passes, otherwise it will be useless. Han Yena thinks maybe they can prepare the items in advance and just light it when they hear the sound of a helicopter. But Zhang tells her fires don't start that quickly. By the time they light it, the helicopter might already be gone. Then Han Yena wonders if they should try checking nearby buildings for other survivors. Zhang believes the two of them are alone in this place, and now they just have to survive together. Afterward, Han Yena tries to start a light conversation. She asks Zhang if he uses social media, but he doesn't. She asks about his hobbies. Zhang quietly mentions that he plays games. She asks what kind of games, and he names a few, including a zombie game that he recently played a lot. Hearing that, Han Yena laughs and finds it ironic. Now that the world is full of real zombies, there's no need to play those games anymore. Then she starts talking about personality types and tells him that he would definitely be an introvert. He always stays at home, plays games alone, eats alone, and even sits alone at school. She says there is no way he is an extrovert. Meanwhile, Zhang quietly listens and thinks, even though they could die any day, she is chatting like they are on a school trip. He thinks that before this zombie disaster, she would never have even looked at him. Now, he is the only one she can talk to. And even though the situation is terrible, part of him still feels something. After all, he is alone with the girl he used to have a crush on. He wonders if that means anything now. A few days pass, and Han Yena is now reading comic books to pass the time. She asks Zhang if he is done with the laundry. Zhang gets frustrated and thinks that he is not her servant. She should wash her own clothes. He thinks about how there is no electricity now, so they must wash their clothes by hand. At least the water still works, but they are running low on emergency food. Zhang decides to go out again and informs Han Yena. She tells him not to be late. If he makes her wait again, she says he will be in trouble. Once he steps outside, Zhang starts patrolling the neighborhood. He takes the safest path that he knows. He thinks about how much he has learned about the infected. They act just like the zombies from his games. They attack living people but ignore the dead and other infected ones. They cannot see well and don't notice anything beyond 50 to 100 meters. But they hear very well, so making noise is dangerous. He also notices that there are fewer infected during the daytime. At night, they increase in number and hide in corners or shadows during the day. They seem to hate sunlight, so the safest rule is to never go outside after dark. But these zombie traits are exactly like the ones in the online game he used to play. Maybe he is just imagining it, but aside from the different world, the infected behave just like in that game. He wonders if it's just a weird coincidence. Still, the thought comes, if the game is somehow connected to what's happening now, then this whole zombie outbreak could just be the beginning. Maybe the world really is ending. Back at home, Han Yena is waiting for Zhang. She has finished reading all the comics, and now she is bored. She becomes angry because Zhang hasn't returned yet. She thinks he is getting worse at listening to her. She wants to teach him a lesson. Then she hears a noise outside and wonders if it's the helicopter again. But she also thinks, what's the point now? A few days back when a helicopter came by, Zhang and Han Yena shouted and waved for help. They even tried lighting a fire on the rooftop, but nothing worked. The helicopter didn't stop. Now time is passing again, and Han Yena begins to feel anxious. She walks around nervously and realizes that Zhang has been gone for over an hour and a half. She panics and starts thinking the worst. Maybe the infected got him. Han Yena says he better come back soon or else she will beat him up. She feels like he never listens unless he gets hit. She blames him for going out even when she told him it was dangerous. She promises to stop him next time, even if she has to break his legs. As the evening comes, she grows more afraid. The sun is going down. She remembers how Zhang told her that the infected become more active after dark. She is terrified and wonders if Zhang doesn't come back before sunset. After that, night falls. Han Yena sits alone, feeling sad and frightened. She silently prays that Zhang is not dead. She just wants him to return. Suddenly, Zhang bursts into the apartment. He is breathing heavily and panics. Han Yena sees him and becomes furious. She yells at him for being 3 hours late. She says he must have a death wish. She raises her hand, ready to hit him again to teach him a lesson. But Jong quickly stops her. He tells her that he has something to show. He pulls out a flyer. He explains he saw the helicopter dropping a bunch of them earlier. He had to run far to get one. That's why he is so late. Han Yena takes the flyer from his hands. She looks at it and becomes confused. She asks, "What the hell is this?" The flyer announces that the entire Gangbook area is going into quarantine. All survivors must evacuate from there. When Han Yena reads it, she becomes shocked because that's exactly where they are right now. The evacuation deadline is tomorrow. She panics and questions the logic behind it. Jong urges her to flip the flyer and look at the back. She checks it and discovers a list showing the safety status of different districts. Their area is marked as caution, which means the infection rate there is lower than in other areas. Jong realizes the virus might spread to their neighborhood soon. Han Yena then wonders whether escaping from there is even possible at this stage. She questions where exactly the lockdown boundaries begin. If all of Gangbook is being sealed off, then that probably means the entire northern side of the Han River will be shut down. Jong reflects on the situation. Their neighborhood has some infected, but it's listed as having a low infection rate. That makes him question what very dangerous even means. He suspects the information might be flawed, but concludes that in this kind of situation, they have no choice but to rely on it. Jong then calculates their escape route. If the northern areas are in a serious condition, escaping through the north becomes impossible. That leaves only one viable option: crossing the Han River. The fastest ways to cross are through Yongsan or Dongdaemun into Seongdong-gu, but those districts are marked very dangerous. So their best chance is to detour through Gangdong. Fortunately, Yongcheon-dong is not too far and is considered safe. He thinks that perhaps Jongmun-dong has a lower rating because the military or police have set up barricades to control the situation. Han Yena is taken aback by Jong's logical and quick thinking and admits she underestimated him. Jong states that they need to get out of there as soon as possible. Han Yena hesitates and reminds him it's already evening. She wonders if it's wise to leave right now. Jong explains that to avoid infected individuals, the best time to leave is early in the morning. Han Yena expresses doubt about whether they can even reach Yongcheon-dong safely. She suggests holding out for a few more days, hoping rescue teams will arrive. But Jong rejects that idea. He tells her that if she wants to die in this basement, she can stay, but he's heading out at sunrise. Han Yena's attitude shifts, and she agrees to get ready and asks if they have another bag to carry supplies. Jong replies that there's a small carry-on, but it's probably more of a burden. They decide to fit everything into his main backpack. The next morning, Jong asks if Han Yena is ready to go. He reminds her about her father who works at a hospital and wonders if she wants to check there first. Han Yena brushes it off, saying it's not important and urges him to hurry up. She explains that her father had told her he and her mother evacuated safely to a shelter. Though Jong agrees to move on, he finds her answer suspicious. They start walking through the streets, avoiding zombies and staying alert. Han Yena notices that moving through the city during the day feels less terrifying than she expected. On her way to Jong's house earlier, she thought she wouldn't survive, but now she feels slightly more at ease. Jong gives her a useful tip. Infected people usually avoid places with strong sunlight. They tend to stay in dark or shaded areas. Still, that doesn't mean they are completely safe, so they must remain cautious. As they continue, Han Yena complains about how far Yongcheon-dong seems. She regrets not bringing a bike from home or grabbing an electric scooter. Jong points out that if they had a bike or scooter, their travel speed would have increased 3 or 4 times. But due to the communication blackout, shared scooters aren't working. After walking for a while, Han Yena asks to stop and rest. Her leg cramps are getting worse, and she feels like Jong walks way too fast. Jong jokingly suggests they stop by a cafe for coffee. She snaps back at his sarcasm and promises to give him a lecture once they reach the safe zone. They continue walking, carefully navigating the city and avoiding any threats. Eventually, Han Yena asks how much farther it is to Yongcheon-dong. Jong replies that they are almost there. As he listens to her constant complaining while watching for danger, he feels his patience wearing thin. Suddenly, they come across something unexpected, a massive barricade blocking the road. They have finally reached Yongcheon-dong. The large barricade makes the place feel more secure than anywhere they've passed so far. Han Yena expresses relief. She thinks there must be survivors here, because she hasn't seen any infected in the area. Jong agrees, but warns her not to lower her guard just yet. Then Han Yena spots a building nearby and points it out. She suggests they rest there for a while. Her legs are exhausted. Jong rejects the idea, insisting they don't have the luxury to waste time. Han Yena breaks down and starts crying. She apologizes for complaining. Just then, the zombies suddenly begin appearing. Jong immediately grabs Han Yena's hand and they start running. Out of nowhere, a man appears, a survivor, and he signals them to follow him. Jong and the man attempt to block the zombies using nearby objects, but the infected break through with force. They run back and climb over the barricade. Jong helps Han Yena get over, and both of them jump to the other side. But Han Yena injures her foot during the landing. She struggles to move. Meanwhile, the zombies are closing in fast. Jong remembers what Han Yena said earlier. She didn't want him to live a miserable life. That memory gives him courage. Instead of running again, he decides to stand his ground and fight. He pulls out a knife and prepares to protect them. In his mind, he knows that dying while trying to save someone is better than dying while running away. He believes that if he dies here, at least no one can say he lived miserably.